Welcome to my channel, and in this video series of preparing for a job interview, specifically for the job role of electronics embedded hardware design engineer. In my previous video, we have discussed about resistor, capacitor and inductor and various construction and various properties about these electronic components. If you have not checked out, please go and check out, and the link is in the description. So today in this video, we'll talk about the low pass filter. We are constructing this low pass filter using resistor and a capacitor. So as we discussed the various properties of these electronic components such as resistor, capacitor and inductor, the one of the most used application is to separate out the various signals, input signals based upon their frequencies. So one of the application is constructing a low pass filter. This filter allows only low frequency signals to pass from its input to the output and attenuates or does not allow high frequency signals to pass through it. So let us quickly begin and start the explanation. So we are constructing using a resistor and a capacitor in series. So it's a series combination of RC low pass filter, and we are measuring an output voltage across the capacitor, and we have an input voltage here. Now the important thing we need to recall from our previous video, that if a signal is having a high frequency, then it is allowed to pass through the capacitor. The capacitor allows the signal which has some frequencies and does not and blocks the DC. So it allows AC and blocks the DC signal. That means a signal which is having no frequency or zero frequency is not allowed to pass through it. So utilizing this property, what we are trying to do here is, we are putting a capacitor here and we are measuring the output voltage across the capacitor. So whenever a signal is passed through this resistor, and we can see this capacitor acts as a short circuit or very low impedance path to the high frequency signal and high impedance path to the low frequency signal. So because of this, the high frequency components or high frequency signals are passed through the ground. They are grounded, and low frequency signals are allowed to appear or at the output. So you can see low frequency signals are able to go to the output, but high frequency signals are shorted. So to be more clear, let me modify this circuit. So for the case 1, where our input signal is high frequency signal or it's an AC signal. So for the AC signal, our circuit, the capacitor acts as a short circuit. Hence, so since if we are giving an input signal here which is having some frequency or it's an AC, then this circuit is modified to a short circuit. The capacitor is acting as a low impedance path or a short circuit. So the high frequency signal or the AC signal is grounded. Now consider case 2, where the input signal is DC. So for this, the DC component, the circuit is modified to this way. So initially, if the circuit is this, E out and E in, then for the DC, this capacitor acts as an open circuit between the ground terminal. That means whatever the input voltage or the DC signal is there, it is appearing at the output. So now it is clear that for AC signal, the capacitor acts as a short circuit, and for a DC, the capacitor acts as a open circuit, because of which it allows low frequency signal or DC signal at the output. That's why this circuit is known as low pass because it is allowing or it is passing the low frequency signals. Now look at this diagram. Here we have a logarithm log to log table, and this is the frequency ranges and this is the dB value. So as you can see, in my previous video we have explained that at 0 dB level the input is equal to output. Hence, and any point above it the system acts as a amplifier, and below it acts as a attenuator. So as soon as the signal is less than 100 Hz, the signal is, your output is equal to input, and as soon as the signal frequency is going beyond this 100 Hz range, then your output is starts attenuating or output is reducing, and slowly reduces to a value certain such that completely your output becomes 0. Now let us do some calculations and let us try to find out the phase angle and the amplitude of a frequency of a signal. Now consider that we are giving a input signal with some frequency, and we have to design an RC filter such that it will allow only the frequency ranges till that cutoff frequency, and it will not allow a frequency of the signal or the signal which is having the frequency more than that. It will be more clear with some calculations. And before that, let us remember one more thing, one more concept. For a complex number, if it is in a phasor form, that is W is equal to x plus jy, then the phase angle of that phasor would be tan inverse of y by x. And to find the amplitude of that signal, of that phasor, the modular of W, that is this signal, is equal to the under root of product of that signal multiplied by the complex conjugate of that signal, and that gives is equal to under root of x square plus y square, x square plus y square, right? Now keeping this formulas in mind, let us proceed further. Now we know that using Ohm's law we have the impedance, the complex conjugate impedance of this circuit. So E out is equal to input voltage using the voltage divider formula which we discussed in our previous video, is equal to E in into ZC by ZR plus ZC. How? The output voltage is equal to the input voltage multiplied by the voltage, the impedance or the resistance used across which the output voltage is measured, divided by the sum of the resistance. So ZC is the impedance where across which the output is measured, that's why input voltage into the ZC and sum of the impedance, that is ZR plus ZC, ZR plus ZC. Hope this formula is clear. Now if you see, the ZC formula is the impedance or the capacitive reactance which we discussed in our previous video, is equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc, and 2 pi F is equal to j omega, that's why it is 1 by j omega c. And for R, since resistance does not depend upon the frequency, so ZR is equal to R and omega is 2 pi F. It depends upon the, it's an angular velocity of a phasor, so that depends on the frequency. Now E out is equal to, if we substitute these values in this formula, we get ZC is equal to, since ZC is equal to 1 by 2 pi Fc, so E into 1 by j omega c divided by R. ZR is equal to R, so we are substituting it R, and ZC is equal to 1 by j omega c. Now taking this here, now if we move this E in below E out towards left hand side and do the simplification of this equation, we get E out by E in is equal to 1 by 1 plus j omega RC. Now multiplying this numerator and denominator with 1 minus j omega RC gives this. If we can calculate, let's do that calculation, and if you do that calculation you will get this form. Now if you see, if you multiply this with numerator and denominator using 1 minus j omega RC divided by 1 minus j omega RC and do the simplification, you will get into this, right? Once you get this, you can do this calculation and you will get into this form, that is E out by E in is equal to 1 by 1 plus omega RC square minus j into omega RC divided by 1 plus omega RC square. Now this equation looks familiar with this, that is W is equal to, you can consider here W is equal to x plus jy, right? So we can think that x plus jy, right? So in this equation we can consider W is equal to E out by E in, and x is equal to 1 divided by 1 plus omega RC square and minus j into omega RC divided by 1 plus omega RC, that is equal to, then we can consider y is equal to omega RC divided by 1 plus omega RC square, correct? Now considering this, as we discussed that the phase angle phi is equal to tan inverse of y by x. So here the phi equal to tan inverse of y by x. So here y is omega RC, this will be a y, and this you can consider as an x. So phi is equal to tan inverse of y by x, right? With this formula, tan inverse of y by x. So here y is omega RC divided by 1 plus omega RC square and divided by x. X is 1 by 1 plus omega RC square. Now if you do the simplification, you will get phi is equal to tan inverse of omega RC, right? Hope it is clear. Now let's calculate the amplitude. Now we know the amplitude of the signal is magnitude of W, that is under root of x square plus y square. Now this is x and this is y. So substitute this equation here in this x square plus y square. So under root of 1 divided by 1 plus omega RC square whole square plus omega RC, that is y. Y is omega RC divided by 1 plus omega RC square. And if you do the simplification, then what you get here is magnitude of E, that is this is E is equal to, this is the amplitude of the signal, E, that is 1 divided by under root of 1 plus omega RC square. Using these formulas, you can calculate the phase angle of any signal and the amplitude of any signal. So similarly, if you want to calculate the frequency and the amplitude and the phase angle of a in a high pass signal, so high pass filter, then you can use the same methodology in a high pass filter and obtain the phase angle and the amplitude. Now consider that the frequency at which the omega RC is such that the angular frequency is omega is equal to by RC. Consider that if we have omega equal to 1 by RC, if you substitute this, if omega is equal to 1 by RC, because these are the resistor and capacitor value and we choose the resistor and capacitor value such that the frequency or the angular frequency is 2 pi f, the omega is 2 pi f is equal to 1 by RC. If you choose a frequency value such that omega is equal to 1 by RC, then we substitute this 1 by RC here in this equation, you get tan inverse of 1 by RC multiplied by RC, and this you cancel, and tan inverse of 1 is equal to 45 degrees. So you get a phase angle of 45 degrees. Similarly, if you substitute this RC value here, you get 1 by under root of 1 plus omega. Omega is, substitute the omega value of 1 by RC multiplied by RC, and if you calculate this, you will get 1 by root 2. That is magnitude of E is equal to 1 by root 2, which is nothing but magnitude of E is E out by E in, right? Is equal to 1 by root 2. So that implies output voltage amplitude is equal to 1 by root 2 of the peak voltage input voltage. So your output voltage is the 1 by root 2 of the peak voltage of the input signal. So that's how you do the calculation for a low pass filter. Similarly, we can calculate the phase angle and the amplitude for a high pass signal or high pass filter. So for a high pass filter, what you need to do is you have to just exchange the resistor and capacitor. What happens in this case is that, now let us discuss about the high pass signal, high pass filter. To do that, we just need to exchange the resistor and capacitor value. So instead of this capacitor, you make a resistor here, and instead of this resistor, you put a capacitor at the input signal. By doing this, for a high frequency AC signal, now our circuit is like this, right? Capacitor and then a resistor. Correct. Now, when you give a AC signal input, then the AC signal, the high frequency signal, is allowed to pass through this capacitor and is reflected at the output. Hence, for a AC signal, your capacitor acts as a short circuit, and your input voltage or the input AC signal will appear at output. Similarly, for case 2 DC, we have a capacitor and a resistor here. When you are giving a DC signal as an input, your capacitor acts as an open circuit and does not allow the input signal to pass through it. Hence, it acts as an open circuit and your output voltage is 0 for zero frequency signals. So similarly, you can just substitute the same and do the calculation. You will get the phase angle and the amplitude for the high pass filter as well. Hope it is clear, and if you like this video, please share and subscribe, and hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.